this group is represented by 22 states and 2 union territories. Now, I was wondering, out of total 28 states and 6 union territories, which all are left? So we'll try and see why can't we have representation from each and every state and each and every union territory of this, and if at all that needs some accommodation in the process, we'll try and have, because this is mini India. And it has immense significance. Why? When a lot is being spoken about based on certain common denominators, this is the group that represents India. I'll also share certain statistics as regards representation of states, and I try to find out what has been the comparative representation of different states. So how many of you are from Maharashtra? The state that is leading the chart since last 3 years. And to my surprise, it was, despite having 2 IIMs, in the state, to my surprise, that for last 3 years, we have had Uttar Pradesh being the second highest contributor to this fraternity. Any idea about the third state? No? Any guess? Huh? Huh? Nah? It's somewhat state. Now you know. Delhi, of course. But the fourth entrant is quite a surprise, and in last 4 years, the contribution from the state is consistently increasing. And that is? Yes, Haryana. It's a small state with a contribution of 38. So this is a true India, and of course, fifth is you all know what? Huh? Yes, it's West Bengal. But I would want to say that just be proud of all the history, legacy, and culture that you come with from your different states, societies, and families. Having said this, when I welcome you to IIM Calcutta, I also welcome you to the state of West Bengal and to the city of joy, that is Calcutta. Why? Because this is one large family which also has a history, a legacy, and a culture. Now the onus to take it forward the way it has been lies on your shoulders. And that is why at IIM Calcutta campus, and I would want the very distinguished chief guest to also appreciate this, that we are trying to recreate a small West Bengal within campus. So now when you come to the campus, on the gate you can hear Ravindra Sangeet. When you move towards the administrative building or ABC block or NAB, you'll find woodcraft, bamboo craft fences that are prepared in Dakshin Dinajpur. Then, when you move forward, the stole that was given, the uttariyo, here we call it as, has got kanta stitching done, which is a specific needlework of West Bengal. The food by now you must have got adjusted to, carries a typical Bengali flavor, and I have asked Dean Academics to explore a formal education of Bangla as a language. Because I am also trying to learn from the staff here, which I could not, probably because of lack of the organized exposure. So, he'll be arranging for, and it will certainly be a non-credited, optional course which if you want to, you can. So along with Marathi or maybe Kashmiri or maybe your Malayalam, you can learn and you should learn. And that is what the very spirit of. Now why it is so very important? Because special institutions like IITs and IIMs have often been accused of running into an island. If I quote, if I quote, even what Elon Musk very recently had said, that management education is too disconnected from real world execution, focuses too heavily on generic top-down theory rather than hands-on problems and innovation. Same has been the case with such institutions. So there was a disconnect between such institutions which were largely termed as an elite institutions, disconnected with the ground and real world problems and issues, because solution essentially is going to come from there. We are supposed to, even if you become a managing director of an organization, you have got to create solution, because the very issue essentially comes from the ground. So this connect is important. So from an island, an elite image of such institutions, we are trying to create an ecosystem of inclusion and integration. And this is why the program chairperson has also arranged for your visit on Sunday to the city of joy, that is Calcutta, and you will be taken to different important destinations of the city. Now, another thing that I actually wanted to, and you all must have asked yourself this question, is that why at all have you all come here for? What have you all come here for? Do you have the answer, first of all? Why at all have you come here for? Could be, for some it could be degree, it could be learning, it could be knowledge. For many it could be placement, could be career, networking, status. I don't want an answer, but I want you all to ponder over this, just think of, but keep thinking of the word. Let that word keep coming to your mind as to why at all have you come here? What have you come here for? And are you in pursuit of that? That is important to explore. Now when it comes to career, there are three aspects. One, of course, your commitment to task at hand. Now this task will continuously evolve. Your task is just to be patient and listen. I am saying it's a 1-week program. Different people are coming and they all are, as a student you might be thinking of, they all are coming and gyan bagaroing, shooting you with all this. But it again has two things, and that is actually a test. Test of your patience, test of your perseverance. So that is the first thing. So I believe you are qualifying this first, proving yourself to be committed enough. Then comes competence. Actually, your career, as I said, is a function of three components. Your commitment, your competence. Now, in this competence building, the role of the institution is very important. So, competence has again three components. Knowledge, you all will be provided with. I said that is probably the biggest strength that this institution has. But mere knowledge would not suffice, as the very distinguished chief guest emphasized upon. So at the same time, you also need skill. So this skill, how to connect with, you to skill is also an important aspect that is being looked after in very design of your curriculum. And you will see a lot of experimentation and innovation by very respected and learned faculty in different programs, in different courses, and in different classes. And but last but not the least is the motive. Why at all and what at all are you going to do with this knowledge part? So motive. Now in motive building, we again have got to join hands together, because that we as faculty, we ourselves cannot entirely do it. So this motive part, you will also have to be very, very cautious. And third aspect, so in your career, after your commitment, after your competence, comes your character. So what is the very exclusive or distinctive trait that you carry? Because it is this distinction that makes someone such a distinctive personality as Sri Ganesh Mohanji is, or many may not be able to achieve this. So, in Subhashitani, those who come from CBSE board must have read a shloka, Kaka Krishna, Pika Krishna. Kaka Krishna, Pika Krishna. Ka bhed pik kakayo. Basant ritu agamane, Kaka Kaka, Pika Pika. कौवा और कोयल दोनों काली, बट बसंत आते ही पता चलता है कौन कौवा है कौन कोयल. So it is the character that defines the very distinctive trait of the individuals, and to excel beyond the point, because the brand of IIM Calcutta and the very learning and the very knowledge and skill can take you up to a point. Now to move beyond the point, we essentially need to work upon the character part of us. And it becomes so very important also because the management education is being challenged. The very premise, the very existence of MBA as a degree and MBA as a program is being challenged. I just shared about what Elon Musk said. And Elon Musk is not the only exception. There are numerous business leaders who started talking about questioning the very existence of MBA program, because it has been widely realized, and late Ratan Tata also said once, that India does not need business managers. We need business leaders. Now, business leadership cannot essentially come through business education. Also, I would want you to clearly distinguish business education and management education. So there are some very startling differences that has got to be differentiated, clear differentiation, because if you emphasize upon learning management here, there is a management institution, there is not just a business institution. There is a management institution. So if you learn the intricacies of management as a discipline, you would surely be excelling in all difficult times. And there are times that had come from Y2K to AI buzz. This has come. And you never know the future. Mr. Ganesh was very right when he said we are very poor at predicting future. So we don't know what the future is going to be like. So what the future is, we don't know. So here, if we actually learn management, I'm sure we'll be able to sail through. But why am I so very confident in stating this, that you will be able to do it? Because one very important thing that we practice here is the theory of connect. We have our root connect. We have our industry connect. We have our society connect. We also have digital connect, and we have student connect, along with probably the most important is the nature connect. So you are, I would say, you are actually for 2 years, you are going to live in a paradise. This is indeed a place that offers you enormous things to take it. Now it is for you to take it, because with all these, enormous innovations are going on with respect to curricula, and almost every year we are adding something that is contemporary to our curricula. Ganesh ji was talking about artificial intelligence and the buzz that is going around. So it has not just been made part of the curricula, but also in our processes. So many of the evaluations during your stay, you are going to experience artificial intelligence tools, applications. I take it just like another decision-making tool. So there is no need to be obsessed with a tool. There has been tools that kept coming, and there will be tools that will keep coming. According to me, I feel like the shelf life of this artificial intelligence is going to be 5 to 6 years. But a lot of researchers have started going on quantum computing. And this migration may come sooner rather than later. Because the shelf life of all these, be it industry 4.0 to 5.0 migration, has been very small. Education 3.0 to 4.0 to 5.0, you will see the shelf life has gradually been shrinking. So this also, transition, today I may think of that this AI buzz is going to be there for 5 to 7 years, but this new quantum computing thing, because of enormous cost to the nature, there is a very important segment in not just in society but also in business that has started pointing out, and the alternative has started being researched upon. So a lot of things are coming, but at the end of the day, I believe you all have come here to attain your own successes. You may have your different goals, but you essentially need to achieve success. And 3-4 days ago, when our Dean Academics was sitting in my room, we happened to meet a monk from ISKCON who shared a shlok, and I would like to share with you all. And that is with respect to that success. It says, the 14th verse of chapter 8 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, that says, Adhishtanam tatha karta, karanam cha prathak vidam, vividash prathak cheshta, daivam chaipatra panchamam. There are 5 elements for success. One is, who's doing? So, karta, who is karta? Who's doing? Second, what is he doing? So that is cheshta. Then, how is he doing? That is karana. Fourth, where is he doing? The place. So maybe the result that you are doing at IIM Calcutta and the same effort that you would be doing at some other institution, the result might be different. And last but not the least, it is Ishwar. So never give up. Keep pursuing. Give your best shot, but don't get disappointed, because at the end of the day, there is one Lord who has extremely important role to play in the final outcome. So it is important. And as you know, as any institution, same is the case with the life of a student or a teacher or an individual, life of an institution is also evolving. We consistently evolve, and we are also evolving. evolving on almost all the indicators, on almost all the parameters. So in maybe from last academic year to this academic year, our ranks have gone up, our accreditation numbers have gone up, our student strength and the responses have gone up, our infrastructure has got strengthened. So on almost all the counts, we are evolving. There would certainly be certain checkpoints, there would certainly be something that you would want it to be better, and that always happens with all possible batches in all the times to come. So we have got to be together to make this place, make this institution a better institution than what it was a day before, a term before, a year before. And this journey will consistently continue. Finally, I would want to say that to all the students, try to be as positive as possible. There are issues of stress and competition and rivalry and all these things that keep coming, especially with this change of times. You essentially have got to be positive to the extent of that once Lord Buddha was, because any new things invite certain criticism as well as certain followings. So he was coming up with certain new ideas at his time. So he was having some people who were following and appreciating him, some accusing him. So he was, during the course of his religion preachings, he was moving on, and some people came at the entrance of a village, and they cursed him a lot. They abused him, they accused him, they cursed him. And then he said, okay, are you done? Should I move on? Then the villagers said, don't you feel bad? We are abusing you, we are accusing you. He said, see, in the last village, some people came to me with fruits and sweets. I did not take them, they took it back. You came with something else, I am not taking it. You take your accusations and abuse back. So one can stay positive, and that is where you can draw your energy from and take it forward. Then you also need to be objective. But if I ask in this hall of 480 batch, if I ask how many of you can see your dream clearly? You don't need to tell me, but you essentially need to tell you. Are you objective enough? You want a job in BCG? Yes. You want to switch over to this FinServ asset management company? Maybe yes, maybe no. Are you able to? Like for example, if I ask you, how many of you know how does rain fall? You all know? Water gets evaporated, then gets condensed, and then rain falls. If I ask you, why does rain fall? This is how, but why? Why does this whole thing happen? So we have to be as objective in our assessment as possible. That helps us be as clear in our vision as required. Another very important thing is be receptive. I have seen people who don't talk, who only argue. So I listen to you to respond. I do not listen to you for the purpose of listening to you. I listen to you to respond. तो बात नहीं बहस करते हैं. This happens only when we are not receptive to. And we teachers face this problem. If you have faith, if you have trusted your teacher, and I believe that is the biggest request that I'll make to all these students. Try to have faith in your teachers. Neither accept nor reject. And that is what the role of a student is. Have faith. If my teacher has said something, there has to have some value to it. Let me explore. Let me explore, test it. If I find it worthy, I'll accept it. Otherwise, I'll go tomorrow and ask. Sab. So, and we as a teacher also evolved. So from ghee mane dalda, detergent mane surf, to we moved to EV mane Tesla. If no, I can always contest, you can always contest. But if no, muda hu aakha kata hu kachu nahi. If yes, the entire word is there to teach me some lesson, one lesson or the other. So that is important. Fourth is be attentive. So be positive, be objective, be receptive, be attentive. How many of we all think we are, but how many of us are? Now to test it, I won't ask you to experiment it, but just think in your mind, if from that height to here, if I place a plank of 1 feet width and I ask you to cross, how many of you will dare? That is not a very huge height. But even then, see, we don't need more than a feet to travel. This is what we use. But if the plank is placed at say 100 feet height, it will be difficult. Why? Because that essentially requires our attention. So be attentive. And last but not the least is be sensitive. But this sensitivity is very tricky. Because we need to be holistic when we think of being sensitive. Sensitive towards everything. So, for this year, from this year, for the first time, Calcutta is going to install air conditioners into the hostel of our students. I mean, let me come. Now, let me come on to this sensitivity part. So, the institute is sensitive enough to see the issues of the students and installs. Of course, we apologize. I as director apologize for the delay, and delay was for genuine reason. Reason was that because of state elections, model code of conduct was in place. So we could not order till model code of conduct was abrogated. So once this model code of conduct was over, then we went in and we have got to conform to all the government norms in procurement. So majority of things are done, and maybe shortly it will start getting installed into your rooms. Now, if you are sensitive enough to see this, because this AC has got to be passed on to your junior also. If you are sensitive enough, you won't play foul. Same is the case with the trees and flowers that are planted. The same flower for a poet or a literature person offers different value. For a botanist, it has a different value. So these things offer different value to us, but what is key is, are we sensitive enough towards the ecosystem? So if you will be, and at the end you will essentially have to be, and that is where the sustainable management concept has come in, and in all walks we are trying to be as sensitive as possible. So I also want you all to appreciate that beyond just being an individual, a son or a daughter from a family, I consider you all to be a national asset. For you, you might be just as an individual. For me, you are a national asset. You work not just for yourself, for your family, for your society, but you work for the country. So your productivity directly is linked with the outcome of the country. And that is where our role also becomes very important, and your role also becomes very important. And this is why I'll close down. I was given lesser time, but then do not just, of course, we'll try to upscale the placements, of course. Last year we have had the best ever placement. This year, of course, we'll try for that. But entrepreneurship is one big thing that I want the students of IIM Calcutta to also be emphasizing upon. This is one thing that I believe the students are trained such that a lot of people after working for a few years, they may turn an entrepreneur. But I want to see some more startups, some entrepreneurial spirit, and we are also trying to introduce the policy of deferred placement, so that if you want to try with this entrepreneurship this year, I mean in the completing year, you may forego that placement opportunity, try for a year into the entrepreneurship. If you are not able to succeed there, you may come back and we can offer you as a student to the placement. Because if you won't do it, who else will? If you won't do it, who else will do? You have to take it as a national challenge. Take it as a responsibility. It's a national responsibility. Not just your responsibility. It is national responsibility. And we have a system. If required, we'll try to further strengthen the system for providing seed capital, intellectual capital, physical capital. We'll try to provide you so that at least you can think of this is the best place for such breedings. So try to get the maximum of the opportunity. Feel blessed that you took birth in a family that provided you this opportunity. Feel blessed to God who gave you this health that you can pursue higher education in this country. Feel obliged to the motherland as well. Have a happy, enjoyable and learning stay and very, very fruitful stay. Welcome to the family of IIM Calcutta. Thank you very much.